Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament. Today we've got azder and Orange. This is actually a rematch of their round one match here, with azder taking that one 2-1. And the winner of this series will advance to the main bracket, and the loser will be going home. So this is definitely a high-stakes series, though this is only game one, so not super high stakes yet, but definitely an important match. And today I'm joined by Tracy M. Tracy, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Looking forward to some Link to the Past randomizer action between two good players who had a very good series already. And we're back to it. We're gonna see. We're gonna do standard mode, standard hard mode. As always, we'll see what they get as their first item. And here we go. The cannon shortcut is this way.
Uncle must be taking a death warp to Ganon, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. And we get some useless arrows to start off, because even if we get the bow's going to give us 30 arrows, so yeah, not useful. I guess if we get the bow in the non-uncle chest, the uncle will give us a sword, a hammer, a bow, fire rod, one of the canes, or bombs.
I'm hoping to see Cane of Samaria today. I think that's a fun item for the escape. What are you hoping for today, Tracy?
Just not Cane of Burna.
Yeah, that's true.
The Cane of Burna is just a terrible early weapon. We get bombs, so yeah, good news, bad news. It's one of the harder escapes to do, but you will have bombs to get the items in the back, so.
Yeah, definitely brings in the component of resource management, because you can only afford to waste a few bombs. And of course you get
really,
bombs
game?
in that chest.
Really, game?
Couldn't even give them that. They couldn't even give them to us after we'd already used them. No, very first chest you get the bombs. But yeah, it is definitely nice to see. It'll be nice to see some of the strategies that these players use with the bombs, because you have to be conservative with your bombs to make sure you still have at least one towards the end. But there are some nice setups that you can use to basically always make your bombs hit. So let's see these runners show them off.
Yeah, we'll see if either one of them has done significant practice on this. Already taking some damage, both of them down to 1.5 hearts. That's not exactly ideal in a bomb start, because sometimes you end up taking damage just to bomb the enemies here. Yeah, start by both runners, and here's a whole ton of money. So.
Very nice to get some early money before Kakariko. They will not have to worry about any of that, and are even on track for getting Zora money.
Oh, and ironically enough, the guards are actually in a bomb prize pack. We're not going to farm up to the single bomb that comes after a long bunch of farming. But yeah, that small magic drop says that there is a single bomb in that prize pack.
Yeah, definitely not going to get that far with the bomb escape.
Having a little bit of trouble with the garden here. Just don't get hit by the green guard and you'll be fine. You can use the pots for the ball and chain guard, get some heart refills there.
Yeah, you kind of want to hope that the green guard gives you some nice RNG so you can just walk past him today.
A little ironic, because usually you want to keep the green guard alive in like an open mode, because then he's the one that lets you death warp.
Yeah, that green guard gets a lot of kills in open mode, but both these runners are able to avoid him, get to those pots, and then just going to use 2 pots to take out this ball and chain guard. It's nice and quick and save some bombs.
And more money. Definitely not a poor seed so far.
Yeah, not poor item money-wise, but item-wise, not so much yet. The tracker is still pretty empty.
Yeah. Yeah, our tracker might be getting bored so far, because no buttons to click. Yes, shout outs to Sorcerer Finch, our tracker today, the MVPs behind the scenes.
Absolutely. It makes it so much easier to know what the runners could do when you can see what options they have available. Both these runners pretty close in terms of speed for this escape so far, having maybe a little bit of hookups on the blue guard, but other than that, been pretty smooth escape so far.
Yeah, funny, they had basically almost the same issues in the one spot in the one room. And both have 4 bombs left. That'll be plenty to get to the back.
Yeah, they'll even have, if you want to have, well, they'll probably only have 2 left unless they get some more because they got to kill Key Rat and also bomb the back of Escape. Because you really like to have 3 for Kakariko, though you can make it work with 2 because then at least you can check the top 2.
Yeah, 321 rupees. It's not a big deal if you have to buy bombs, so.
Yeah, you just don't want to have to walk down before blindside.
Yeah,
so at least 2 is very nice.
2 is good, and then you just do the chicken hut with the ones you buy. See what Dark Cross has for us. We've already got the small key, so this will be something. I don't think we've seen the map yet. Okay, more rupees.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. Get to see how Kira is treating our runners today. He's gonna be nice with this bomb escape.
Ooh, Azure having a little bit of trouble with the Key Rat.
Yeah, it's good that he's got plenty of hearts because you really... Oh, you don't want to use that last bomb.
Oh, no, that's bad. Okay, he gets the key, but unfortunately does run out of bombs. And it's nothing to kill anything with, so he's just going to have to go without checking the back of Escape. I saw a map, and I think I saw rupees. I did not see all 3 items.
The last item was Piece of a Heart, so luckily we know he won't be punished for it, but he absolutely is going to be concerned about that because your opponent had bombs, and they probably got to check it. But hopefully the glove will show up, and it won't tempt him to walk back there later. Very nice to get that flute there. We almost got shut out of trafficable items for Escape, but at least we get a pretty nice one on the way out.
We got a flute. And I see a Pendant Eastern and 2 regular crystals at Desert and Hera.
Yep, that's what I saw as well. See if either of these runners elect to check Lumberjack. Looks like, no, neither of them are. Sometimes when you're low on bombs like this, you might want to, but they both have plenty of money, so no need.
Azur's not even going into the forest. That's an interesting play, not something I'm used to seeing him do. From the bottle vendor.
I wonder if he's planning to walk upwards from the bomb shop and then culminate his route in the Lost Woods and then either flute away or go.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, you're sacrificing race game by doing that. So that's the biggest thing. Oh, if he'd gone in the forest, he would have gotten bombs and been just fine. That's a shame.
Yeah. Just a 20.
We'll have to go back there, though. That was a Moon Pro that we saw on Orange's side.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one. But yeah, he'll definitely get that up there in the Lost Woods. So this seat has just been so empty so far. It's hard to guess where the runners will go next. Hopefully these big item checks in the top of Kakariko give them a little bit more options.
Okay, and the chicken hut has just 20 rupees. A glove over in Blind's hut. So Azure will be able to go back and check that back of Escape very quickly.
Yeah, that'll definitely be nice for him. Get that out of his mind as soon as possible. And we'll get our first look at the Kakariko well down here. First chest is just a 20. Nothing so far, yeah, nothing in the well today. So even after Kakariko, both the runners are still pretty low on items.
Yeah, we're not a whole lot of stuff to do. Probably means just a standard South Shore check next. Not a whole lot of other options.
So for Orange, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go east and maybe up to Saha's just because he needs bombs. He could buy them on the way out of Kakariko, but he definitely needs to get some sort of weapon before going into Mini Molorn Cave.
Yeah,
so maybe burn is enough.
3 will not do it by itself. He would have to use that cane. He does have a decent amount of magic, but Cannon Burner is such a magic hog that it might be better just to go ahead and go buy some bombs. Ooh, save and quit. I don't like that. Completely ignoring the forest. He has to get back there at some point. And it's one of those locations that you're going to think that you've done because you usually do it. It might be a while before he gets back to it. So that worries me a lot.
Yeah, luckily for him, it's the Moon Pearl there, because you really can only put off the Moon Pearl for so long. You eventually, like, even doing, like, you would not be tempted to do Aghanim as much if it's your last item is the Moon Pearl, whereas if it was your glove or your hammer, you may risk not doing that.
Okay, he's going to get his crap back here, which is, yeah, not a lot. Okay, save and quit. Let's see where he goes now. Okay, I think this will be the South Shore check.
Yeah, with 6 bombs, you can definitely still do mini Molarm Cave. You need to make sure you're accurate, but you can do it. And Orange is going to buy bombs, so probably making the play to the South Shore after this as well.
Yeah, they've got as much money as they've got. It just makes sense for both runners to buy bombs if they need them.
They do have that glove and Moon Pearl, so the fake flipper play does become more viable, but even buying bombs, they still have enough money that they'll
Well, it's viable for Orange. Azder can't do it because he didn't pick up that Moon Pearl.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, we're going to see the race game on Orange's side. It's just rupees. Azder may or may not ever see that.
Yeah.
There's more bombs.
Yeah, I probably will go back
both,
there.
Yeah, they'll be both fine for Mini Moldorm now.
And Orange is giving us a quick Agena check. Sometimes you'll see these runners do this early when they have the flute, because it doesn't really get that much quicker to check unless you get the boots. And if you get something good here and your opponent skips it, it's just a lot of free time advantage. Just a 20 today.
Looks like the Moldorms are in the bomb prize pack. That's useful.
Definitely, when you come to Mini Moldorm Cave with just bombs, you like to see some free bombs. I don't know how that one missed.
I don't know how that was right there. I don't. That should have been a hit, but whatever. He's got 3 left. It's fine. Cape, rupees, piece of heart, bombs, and 50 rupees, and still nothing doing here.
Yeah,
he pulls out
really
that flute. We'll see if he flutes closer to Ice Rod Cave or does something different. There really isn't a whole lot of choices. He's got to get back to the forest. That would be a flute 3. He could go to 5 and check out the eastern area, which looks like what he's doing. Yeah,
without the bow, but again, the seed is so sparse, who knows when we're going to get the bow. Maybe we'll just do the Saha back, or we'll see if he decides to dip eastern at all.
Yeah, and it may depend on what is actually in Saha. Eastern being a pendant, it's a little less bad to dip it without a bow, because hopefully you just never come back.
Agreed, especially with, like, these runners still need a lot of items to either get the Dark World or I guess they only need the one for the Dark World access, but they still need to get a lot before they can get their next move, so Eastern having something is not unlikely. Looks like Azder is heading over to Eastern.
Yeah, this is probably the best choice of the bad choices he has, other than getting back to the Lost Woods, which he needs to get back to.
Yeah, I think for his sake, you want him to not get something like the hook shot that would give mountain checks that might end up making it so he misses later mountain checks if, say, another glove is up on the mountain. Because he's going to have to go back there and get it at some point. It's just a matter of if he gets tempted by some other item first before he ends up going to Moon Pearl. Meanwhile, on Orange's side, we're going to get our first look at Ice Rod Cave.
Just 10 arrows, so if Azder never gets back there, he's fine. Ether Medallion in Eastern. That's a nice to-be-determined item. We may or may not need it. It's probably my favorite medallion, though. I feel like it's the most versatile because it's faster than Bombos and kills more than Quake.
Yeah, in terms of usage, for sure. Bombos has a little bit of an edge on it just because you can use it for Ice Palace, but in terms of just using it in general, yeah,
Yep.
Ether, it's fast and kills a lot of things that are annoying, like Gyarados.
Yeah, we are going to we do have the fake flipper from Orange. There's a lot of slow checks. I mean, it makes sense to do. I'm not a fan of doing the Hobo and doing the Zora play. Hobo is really, really slow. The Zora play, Zora is in logic. You don't really want to go there unless you can unless you can sequence break the other items. And right now we can. At least we can see the one in the ledge. And we can get the ones in the waterfall. Oh, but those are boots. That ends up being a really nice call, and I happen to know Asher does not like that play, so this is really bad for him. It might be a while before he gets to that Hobo.
Yeah, especially with not having the flippers. Sometimes if you get the mirror before you're going over to pod, if you go to pod, then that's like the one time that clicks nice. And then you see the Titan Smiths over there on Azder's side.
Which gets him nothing right now.
Yeah, we'll see if because if he goes over to the to get his Moon Pearl, he'll have Dark World access and we'll be able to go right in to that portal. So we'll see if when he decides to finally go up there.
Okay, he's going to the Ice Rod Cave.
And we'll get to see the waterfall chests over on Orange's side, Heart Container, and Red Rupee. So nothing there, but
nothing there.
Those boots, though, that's really nice to get those on your fake flipper. We don't know if those are needed yet, but getting those early just makes you go so much faster. And just 100 rupees up on that ledge.
Let's see what Zora has itself. And a sword. That's a nice find.
Definitely nice to find that. Will make just getting around the world a lot easier now that you can poke away annoying enemies with it.
Yeah, especially with those boots.
And look, Orange is heading over to Eastern. Will most likely go in there and get his Titan Smiths after going to Saha's hut. And
not a whole lot left for him. The problem is for Azder, he's not going to get to those boots. He has gloves. Has the mitts. He's going to get to He's got to get to that Moon Pearl. And once he gets to that Moon Pearl, he's going to have all sorts of Dark World access.
Absolutely.
And like I said, he does not like the Hobo play.
Yeah, generally not a favorite vocation for a lot of runners. Not as frowned upon as Catfish, but pretty close.
Okay, this is going to get him his Moon Pearl.
It looks like Orange is going to not go into Eastern Palace just yet. He's going to go over to the mountain first. And we'll get our first look at what the old man gives us. He's out of logic, but with that sword, this dark room is fairly easy.
Yeah, I think this is the most important dark room to learn of all of them. Maybe not the easiest. It's probably I'd say the one in Eastern. The one you don't get to light the torches for is probably the easiest, but this one is one of the easier ones once you've done it a few times.
Yeah, you just hold some diagonal inputs essentially. If you have your sword, you can follow where you are and just hold diagonal up right at first and then switch to diagonal down left and get through it pretty nicely.
All right, and there's that Moon Pearl for Azder. Interesting. Oh, he's going to go straight over to the Mire area. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I'll get the knowledge of the Mire medallion. We'll get our Dark World map check. We see reds on Pod and Ice Palace and crisp pendants in Skull Woods and Misery Mire. I did not catch which one was the green pendant, though.
It was Skull Woods.
And we see Quake medallion up on the top of Spectacle Rock Cave. Did Azder show us what the Mire medallion was?
He did. I want to say it was Ether, but I'm not 100% sure. He is saving and quitting, it looks like. Let's see where he goes next.
Chad is informing us that it was Ether.
Okay, so we have the Ether medallion. Well, Azder has the Ether medallion. Orange will shortly have it as well, because he's going to get his Ether and his mitts here. And this will be Azder's first foray into the Dark World with those mitts. His
Yeah.
only weapon for blind right now is that blue cane. So that's kind of a bad situation for him. Can't really... I mean, he'd have to find a place to get magic. Looks like he's going to maybe dip Skullwoods first instead and hope to find something there.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Skullwood's a pendant. You might find your 2 items in the front, never have to come back here. And like you were mentioning, your loadout's pretty poor right now. Do you really want to do Thieves Town with no weapon other than Cane of Burna and no hammer? That's a pretty risky decision. So get these few extra checks out of the way. He can even route in the bumper ledge with that cape.
Get the big key right away. And a small key. Which isn't bad. When you get to the front of Skullwoods, getting that small key early so you can right away do the rest of the checks in the front half without dropping down the hole. Now that the pinball room does not guarantee you a small key, it's changed the way we route Skullwoods. It used to be you would just drop down and you guaranteed to be able to get out. But there are layouts that don't allow for that. We see another small key. And a map. So far, Skullwood's not with anything.
Not a very friendly front of Skullwood.
At least from this room, you can go ahead and ride the hand out to the front. Oh my god, all keys. Nothing in the front of Skullwoods.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes over to the vanilla big key chest. It's got a decent chance of being an item, so probably we'll see it.
Yeah, 2 items left, and one's they could both be in the back, but one could be in the middle.
We'll get to see this out of logic check here by Orange of Graveyard or King's Tomb, and it's the mirror. That's huge.
Yeah, that won't be in logic until we find those flippers.
And not only that, so the mirror is really the only item that's going to make that hobo check any nicer. And we know that you're never going to have that.
Yeah, that's really bad for Azder. I don't know when he gets to that. I don't know when he gets to that hobo location. And oh my god, Skullwoods. That is as bad a Skullwoods as you can get for a pendant dungeon. Every item in the back.
Yeah, that's what you always hope for when you have the fire rod and can do Skullwoods
I know, right?
front. But when you don't, you just come here and there's no item in front.
Wow, that's just really bad.
Looks like Orange is going to follow him over into the Village of Outcasts portal. And Orange, being a little bit more well-equipped, may opt to do something different.
Yeah, with the sword, doing Thieves Town makes a little more sense. He's still without the hammer, though. It's a risk of leaving an item behind in the big chest.
Absolutely, you always feel bad when you go there and end up having to leave that item behind.
Okay, just arrows on the bumper ledge, so no one's gonna pick those up.
I don't know if we've seen the Sun Prize yet. I guess Azder's going to abandon that quest to check it.
Okay, good news for Azder. Orange also going to do the Skullwoods check. Also going to find nothing. So you won't lose nearly as much time.
Yeah, both of them are going to get the bad news about the front of Skullwoods.
Orange will save a little bit of time with that mirror.
Yeah, mirror and boots is just gonna... Those are both 2 really good time-saving items, and he'll just be constantly saving a little bit of time until Azder makes his way over and gets those.
And those boots are required because we need the mirror to get into Swamp Palace, and Swamp Palace is a crystal. And so we need the boots to get the mirror to go to Swamp. So regardless of whether Desert is boots locked or not, it doesn't matter. Those boots are hard required.
Yeah, they could the minimum for Skullwoods. There also could be even required for desert access, depending on if you get the book at any time. And we also saw the lamp over there in the front of Thieves Town on Azder's side, which not really going to help these runners too much. They'll both be good at dark rooms, but nice to have. Also gives them their first fire source for things like desert.
Yeah,
Speaking
of desert, the fire source is important, though. We don't know when we're getting a fire rod. I mean, we do need to get it at some point because Turtle Rock. But it's not unusual to have a fire rod behind the fire source, so And lamp also is particularly nice to have in a mode where you know that you aren't going to be getting silver arrows. Knowing you have to get that torch glitch and knowing you don't have to get it with the fire rod is definitely a plus.
Yeah, especially when you're already 25 minutes in and have 0 and 1 swords respectively.
Okay, looks like Azur's gonna bail on Thieves Town. I don't blame him. He got a small key. There's a really good chance there's something in the big chest. Can't really beat the dungeon unless he gets a nice magic refill, and even then would be tricky.
Let's see where he's going next.
Oh, this could be some fake flippering.
Yeah, if he takes
He'll
the
at
whole
least
way.
get that sword. We'll see if he also does the hobo check, if he surprises me with it. No, looks like he's just going to do the Zora area. And Orange checking Lumberjack. I did not see what it was.
Looked like a heart piece. It was not.
Okay.
Saw a little bit at the bottom, so.
It's an interesting question with only getting the sword here. Maybe he goes back. I don't know. Not a whole lot can be open. He might be able to clear desert, but this is a really awful loadout for desert. No hammer for something like Ice Palace. Can't do swamp without a mirror. Pod is not a great proposition without a bow or a hammer.
I think the best chance for azder to get those boots at a reasonable time would be if his next progression item is the flippers, because we know that that's not going to give him anything other than hobo, because he's not going to get the mirror, won't be able to enter Swamp Palace at all.
Yep, exactly. I think that's a good call.
Orange showing us just 50 rupees over there in Graveyard Ledge. We'll see if he elects to sequence break the East Dark World here and go over to Catfish.
And honestly, if Desert could just have like flippers in the first chest, that would be the best thing for Azure, because not only would it mean that he knows he has to get those boots, but it would gate him. It would give him the item he needs to point him in that direction.
Orange following some of Azure's footsteps, clearing out Village of Outcasts. We'll see how far he elects to go into Thieves Town.
Thieves Town a little bit faster, a little bit safer for Orange because of that sword and those boots. However, still we'll have that issue of, do I abandon the big chest? Do I take a risk that there's not something in there? Okay, we're not even boots locked here.
And we see the ice rod down there in the brewery.
Oh, did Azure not check that? That could be a problem. Hopefully he realizes when he goes back there. Yeah, I don't think he did check that. Hopefully next time he goes over to Thieves Town, he realizes that will only affect him if he completely forgets it, though, because the ice rod doesn't get you anything right now.
Yeah, I think he may have intentionally skipped it, intending to route it in when he comes back to Village of Outcast, does the southern checks with the smith chain. Maybe perhaps he's waiting to get the hammer so that he can do Thieves Town and hammer pegs, all those things at once.
And Azure says, you know what, this is a completable dungeon, I'm going to go full clear it. And I'll check the other two chests on the right side afterwards. Or maybe he won't at all.
And this won't be a particularly nice Landmolus fight, having only the fighter sword to deal with them. I guess you can also use Cane of Burn and bombs if you're feeling adventurous, but probably just the sword. Yeah,
I think he'll just use the sword. A little bit unfortunate, doesn't even have the bow for an NMG strategy. Azure does run NMG. I mean, it will work. I mean, I've done it. It's slow, annoying.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the one spot where missing that ice rod early would actually come into play, because the ice rod is a pretty nice weapon against the Landmolus. And looks like Orange is going to elect to go into the back of Thieves Town and risk orphaning the chest. Though he doesn't have the key. Did he forget a chest?
I thought I thought Azure got the small key. Maybe I wasn't looking properly.
Yeah, because I know there was big key and then the book and the one other item, the lamp.
Okay, chat saying big key, compass, lamp, book, so no small key.
Looks like Azure is going to use some bombs here. They do significantly more damage than the fighter sword.
Hey, you might as well use them a little bit, you know, get some extra damage in there. Wouldn't want to rely solely on bombs in this fight, though, for sure.
The bombs do the same damage as the arrows to the land molas. So they would take 6 bombs, would knock out the land molas. Pretty convenient.
That's a nice refill. Oh, those are flippers. Okay, so if he follows those, then he's going to be good to go. He's a little bit more good to go.
Yeah, that's definitely a good item for Azure to find as long as he elects to follow them before getting getting led away by some other item.
Yep. We'll see if he even checks the front of desert. Wouldn't surprise me if he skips it. Yeah, he's going to go to Agina. Oh no, he's going to go back in this way. Okay, that makes sense. I never even thought about jumping back in this way. I mean, so often we don't even have the book. We come in from the back anyway.
Yeah, but it definitely makes sense. There's a lot of screen transitions and big screens, especially without the boots on that left side.
Oh, there's that small key. So now we've got a 50-50 shot that map or compass is in that big chest, and a 50-50 shot that it's an item. I do believe we've seen 3 items.
Yeah, we saw we have heart piece in the attic, and then the book and the lamp in the front. That heart piece actually saving Orange because he had 2 hearts, got the heart piece, and then got hit by Cricket. And we're seeing a heart container by Azure over on the desert right side.
Okay, so no other items to guide him anywhere. Hopefully this will lead him to the hobo, get him his boots.
Meanwhile, Orange showing us the scripted blind fight, staying on script so far. And gets a really nice fight. Knocked by 1 fireball, but otherwise just attacks with blind.
All right, here we go. Gonna get the boots. We'll see if he gets his mirror right afterwards. What did we see? I did not see the item.
Oh, I missed it as well. Red rupee.
Red rupee. Okay, so it's just a map or compass
keeping us
everyone.
honest again.
Yep. Okay, Azure gets his boots. Should get his mirror shortly.
Yeah, saving Quintessang kind of gives away the game. Gonna do these close to Sanctuary boots checks.
Orange, meanwhile, give us our first look at the dig game.
A lot of digs today.
Okay, Azure gets his mirror. The dig game just giving us 10 arrows.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see. You don't want runners to just get tripped up by one location like that. So definitely good to see both these runners relatively equal in terms of items right now. Orange going to show us the Smith chain. Gonna leave the hammer pegs behind due to not having a hammer yet. Probably save that for later. Hopefully with magic bat you'll get powder by then, or you can just come back, because it can be a bit annoying to come back to hammer pegs for just hammer pegs.
Okay, Azure's gonna do the lumberjack check as well.
And just getting 10 arrows from those blacksmiths today. They're arrowsmiths today.
Yeah, Orange gonna grab that purple chest. This is one of the things I really hate doing, dragging that purple chest all the way down when you have the boots.
Yeah, at least he'll get to leave the purple chest behind once he's done checking the.
Done with the mirror checks. See if Azure goes back into Thieves Town or does some of these other checks.
And there's the hook shot over there in the cave top of the grove. It's a very big find there.
Okay, Azure's gonna get his ice rod. The good news for azder was nothing in Thieves Town except getting the crystal that'll help him. So whenever he comes back to do it, he might lose a little bit of time because he'll, if he comes back with a hammer, he's gonna check the big chest and he'll see it's nothing. But
And Orange going to show off the glitch where you can leave behind the purple chest as long as you stay in the dark world, and then you just mirror over by the thief really closely. He'll open it even though you don't have it next to you.
Interesting that azder picked up the smith before doing the dig game. The dig game does not like you to bring a follower, so he may not be able to get to that at all. May not even be that big a deal. I mean, it's just 10 arrows. If he never gets back to it, he'll be fine.
Orange showing us purple chest is just the heart container.
Yeah, and of course we will get to the point where we'll run out of heart containers. There's only 16 heart pieces and 10 heart containers? I always forget. No, 7 heart containers, where the 7th one is always sank heart. Sank heart is always sank heart. After that, they will all turn into green 20s.
We also saw Bombo's tablet is 300 rupees today. Orange not electing to go over into desert while he's over there and going to go to Hype Cave instead.
He's got the flute. He can get to desert whenever he wants. It makes more sense to go to Hype Cave first. As you're going to get his hook shot.
And there's the hammer for Orange. So once both these runners, once Orange does desert and azder does Hype Cave, they both have full access to Swamp Palace.
As you're leaving the purple chest, gets his single rupee. Yeah, as you're making up time, which is good. I'd still say he's a little bit behind right now, so he's gonna have to, wouldn't be surprised. He probably feels behind. I know for a fact he tends to feel behind, and so wouldn't be surprised to see him make some skips. Like we saw him skipping the dig game. I don't think he's ever going back to that. He never went back to the race game. I don't think he's ever going back to that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that could have helped, but Orange is coming. If Orange comes over here and does desert, that will mitigate the advantage that azder will probably know that Swamp Palace is in logic first. So if he elects to go in there and find something good, that could be a big play. But Orange probably going to clear out desert here, get his flippers, and go to Swamp.
Now they also have the option of going up the mountain and doing a bunch of stuff there. I kind of like the mountain play better. You can defeat Hera, get a crystal there. You can do East Death Mountain, which is a ton of items. The problem with Swamp Palace being, of course, that when you do Swamp Palace, there's always that left side swamp decision. It's nicer to go there when there's less to do, so you can make a better decision on that. I was about to say Ice Palace in logic, but it's not. We can enter it, and we can stare at the Freezor, but we can't kill it, so we can't go any further. Also, we'll see when azder decides to go back and do Thieves Town.
Yeah, because definitely the thing about you definitely have a good point about how many items there are on the mountain. Because these runners, they still need. They're one item away from doing a decent amount of dungeons. So like if they get the bow, they can go over and do pod. They need the fire rod and Cane of Zamaria to get into Turtle Rock, and Ice Palace. They just need the fire rod or bombos.
So what do we need? We need a Cane of Samaria, we need a fire rod, we need a bow, and swords.
And then medallion question mark.
And medallion question mark. And also, sorry chat, Ped is dead. Bow would be needed for Eastern, fire rod would be needed for Skull Woods, Cane would be needed for Misery Mire, so...
Well, there
could be a second bow on Eastern. On Ped, but
we have the medallion Peds.
Okay, medallion would be the one possibility. Well, didn't we see Quake?
That's true. Quake. Yeah, Quake is on Spectacle Rock Outer, so it could only be bombos. But I think only one of the runners knows, because that could play into their decision to go up to the mountain if either of these runners were to find the Cane of Samaria down here, which probably not, because the mountain is one of their next plays. But you could know that you probably are going to be able to get into Turtle Rock if you know that Quake Medallion's up there.
And azder is right here and decides, you know what, I am going to go into Swamp Palace. I'd be willing to bet he doesn't do left side. That's a definite good skip to save time. It can bite you. It's become such the meta ever since Diver Down became a thing for people to just go do the left side first, that you're pretty much guaranteed that your opponent does it, and you just have to, face the fact that if it's the items there, then you probably aren't going to win.
Yeah,
but if the item's not there, which is more likely, then you gain a significant amount of time.
Yeah, we also get to see a nice one-cycle ice rod there by Orange on the land molus. So very nice fight.
Yeah, having that ice rod definitely helps.
Yeah, and what you're mentioning about Swamp Palace is a really good point because, yeah, it's quicker to check the left side now when you're going in it first and you can do Diver Down, but it's also quicker to just not check it and not have item there.
Yeah, it's still a slow check, Like it's definitely faster to do it. If you're gonna full clear, it's definitely faster to do it first, but it is still a slow check. We're gonna see we didn't see Checkerboard K from azder. He didn't have the mirror when he was over here. It's just 5 rupees.
And like you anticipated, azder electing to skip the left side swamp.
We already know there's an item there because we saw the compass. azder doesn't typically do the bomb diver down strat. It's actually not uncommon for runners who do. He does the left side strat with the cane, which doesn't correspond the way you do the bomb strat. So it doesn't really surprise me that he would choose that he doesn't choose to do the bomb strat here. We'll check the chest though.
So we're gonna get kind of simultaneous different new item checks with seeing the Swamp Palace from azder, and now Orange is gonna show us the rest of the mountain. We'll get to see Ether Tablet, just some money.
Don't ever have to go back there. With 2 items in the left side, maybe he goes back in. I don't know. I still wouldn't be surprised if he just abandons it altogether.
I think if Argus drops the big key, then I think you go back and do it. If not, then it's a more difficult decision.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. azder could surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. Either way, at this point, if it's 3 items, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes back in, because 3 items, like you say. But it wouldn't surprise me if this is a corner he chooses to cut.
Orange gonna show us the attempt at the super speed Hera pot.
Did he get the big key?
Yes, big key and small key were both in the ground of Hera. Azder's showing up.
Yeah, at this point, he's not saving time. If the big key wasn't available, then this would still save time. But no, that does not save time if it takes you that long to get it. But
yeah, and meanwhile, over on azder's side, he's showing us the Fighter's Sword double puff, double spin strategies, where you grab 2 of the puffs and then attempt to hit them both with 2 Fighter Sword spins. So the timing is pretty tight. But if you do it, it's actually not much slower than Master Sword Argus.
Also better than using hammer strats, so. Because who wants to menu that much?
Yeah. Also showing off, Ice Rod getting a lot of playtime today. Seeing it on Argus as well.
Okay, gets a small shield, so there's a big key and 2 items left in the dungeon, and we'll see if he goes back in.
And we also saw both the items in Tower of Hera on Orange's side, so he's not going to have to go into the basement. Getting knocked off there by Moldorm, a bit annoying, but at least it wasn't the middle hole.
Yeah, never want to fall into that middle hole, fall down 2 floors. Oh, he is going back in. Okay, surprising me. I did not see this coming. But it is 2 items, so it's definitely very defensible.
Yeah, and if you get something like the bow here, there's a bunch of items that could really save you a lot of time. So like if you get the bow here, you can clear out pod before climbing the mountain, which you might maybe prefer to go mode pod, but there's just so many items there, you probably will not get to do it this time. If you get the Cane of Samaria, then when you go up the mountain, you'll have the advantage of doing more in Turtle Rock. So I can understand it. And it's just 2 items rather than, if it was just 1, then maybe you skip it too. And sometimes maybe you feel behind, and that makes you kind of want to do left side swap.
Yeah, hopefully your opponent doesn't do it, but
exactly.
So many people just do it nowadays. Before Diver Down, we saw a lot more people just skipping this check. And of course, the sword does not reach the switch.
Yeah, not with fighter.
If you get fighter sword, it's just a pixel or two short.
Yeah, the fighter sword is shorter than the other 3 swords, and you don't really notice it until you're doing that, trying to hit that switch. And
Yeah, exactly.
So didn't really see anything over in Spiral Cave over there for Orange, and looks like he's going to do the dark side of Death Mountain first before Paradox.
Yeah, you put a mirror portal here, and you can kind of knock those off at the same time. Do the Super Bunny Cave after Paradox. You don't have to do the bomb jump to get to the top.
Yes, very nice with the mirror and the. But we'll get to see our first look at left side swamp over on Azure side, and there's the bow.
It's a bow. If that's the only bow available, that is huge.
And also, so now if the Cane of Samaria, for instance, is in a Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock is either Quake or Ether, then he'll be able to get in there his first time up the mountain.
Yep.
Now, granted, we don't have the Fire Rod, and there's the Cane of Samaria there. So I guess that's not, so it has to be the Fire Rod to really help you for that. But yeah, there still could be something to help you and maybe get to save a mountain trip on your opponent.
Okay, let's see what's in the big chest. Just 20 rupees. That could be the other bow.
Yeah, we've gotten enough art containers that... Or no, he doesn't have that many. So
no, he doesn't have enough.
It is more likely for him. Azure has...
It could be... I mean, it's either that or a mail upgrade at this point, so... Okay, this will probably be the mountain player. Maybe he does... No, he's going to do pod first. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because depending on the big key logic, if it's the big keys in the back, go winning pod isn't particularly fast, and there's 5 items here, you might get something that will help you on your mountain climb. Because like if you get the Fire Rod here, you just go and you can well, maybe not do Ice Palace without the cane, so but you can at least bring that up to do Turtle Rock as well. We'll also get to see our first look at that Turtle Rock medallion, which will kind of tell us if these runners will be able to. Orange will probably dip in there even without the Fire Rod, if he's able to, just because you're up here, might as well.
Yeah, you usually get gated quick enough, and it's nice to clear out at least a little bit of it, if you can. I personally, when I do a play like that, I like to get gated at the chain chomp, so that next time I go through, I don't have to worry about the chain chomps. But there's a Fire Rod right now, so he's going to be able to go in right now.
Yeah, so we may be in no mode. We'll see if we'll know.
Well, yeah, we'll know in a second. And we are in no mode. So unfortunately, that means Azure's going to full clear this pod for nothing. But he is going to get to go to the mountain after this, and we'll be able to do everything he needs to do. He is a Thieves Town behind, though.
And he will get to go mode Turtle Rock, which doesn't often save that much time. May even also get to go mode Tower of Hera, but also not going to save a ton of time.
Yeah, he's going to... Kind of odd. He's probably not going to go mode Hera because he's probably going to do that first and then do the other mountain checks. But probably we'll get to go mode Thieves Town and Turtle Rock most likely. Not that those are great go mode dungeons. On the other hand, Orange will not get to go mode Swamp Palace because we do know that bow is there, and unless we see another bow elsewhere.
Yeah, so this is it's still hard to say who's really ahead because Orange still has to make the play to go over into left side swamp to get that bow.
Yep.
And we'll have to. It's going to be interesting to see where these runners decide to go next because
there's only one choice for Azure. He has to go to the mountain. I mean,
Azure I think is easy.
The only other choice is Thieves Town, and he got 2 really good items in the front of Thieves Town. It's hard to imagine you're going to get better items in the back there.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that could change Azure's plans is perhaps if you get Bombos Medallion, you try to. If you're feeling like you want to do the mountain in one go, you risk that the Cane of Samaria is an Ice Palace and miss out on the Icebreaker possibility. Because we know that you'd be able to climb the mountain once and have a bit of an advantage, but it's hard to make that call.
Yeah, that'd be a really tough one. He's going to do a hammer jump here.
Orange getting through that chain shop room with just one hit, which better than dying, but that room is pretty tough.
That is a terrible room. So let's talk about earlier. I do like to get gated there when I go in without a fire rod, because then when you do go in with a fire rod, you just don't even have to worry about it. Because you've already done it, you just go straight through. Azder's gotten all his items out of pod, is going to go kill Helmasaur. I didn't see where Orange got that Master Sword. I assume that was also on the mountain.
Yeah, I missed it, but yeah, most likely Paradox Cave.
And just a small key in the big key chest, so he didn't actually need to go get it, but because not in go mode, still looking for a bow, does need to check it.
Well, also, Orange is going to go over and do Mimic Cave as well out of here, which Azder most likely will not be doing.
No, Azder's not doing Mimic Cave. He'll have no reason to do it. He'll also miss that key in the big key chest. So for Azder's sake, we hope there isn't a small key in the big chest, because that would be... Typically, you want to steal that key, and that's the one layout. It's less than 5% chance that happens, but it can happen. And then you get screwed at Laser Bridge.
Very nice turtles there, all flipping over with the one hit. So that's some NMG experience and good RNG.
And a bug net. Ugh. One of my least favorite items.
Trying to get that fairy, but fairy playing keep away right there.
As you're into the Helmasaur fight, 17 hits with the hammer. We'll see if he does do NMG. Might choose to use the hammer strats. Actually, the hammer strats right now, this is essentially similar to what the all dungeons Helmasaur is, except you only have like 5 hearts. And there you want to use the hammer if you can. We'll see if he switches to the bow at some point. It's a little bit safer to use the bow, but he does get through with the hammer.
Yeah, very nice. The hammer, it kills him fast, provided that you can hit that jewel with the hammer, which is no small feat.
Okay, so there will be a key on Laser Bridge, which means Azder will not get screwed over by the key layout. Okay, let's see if he goes to the mountain now.
So there might be a case for him to just go over and do Thieves Town now, because it's not really going to save any time, and there could be something like the Cane of Samaria in there.
Yeah, I can see that case. I mean, it's not going to... The only difference is, if he goes to Thieves Town now, which looks like is what he's doing, he will be checking the big chest. Whereas if he were to do it later, he would not be be checking the big chest.
And we see that Tempered Sword over in the first chest of Laser Bridge, so it's likely both these runners will be on Tempered Sword, considering that both the swords are on their way.
Yeah, and Azder will need to pick up that small key, so he'll be checking Laser Bridge.
Yeah, and he'd have to go, unless he does them backwards and elects to skip the last.
Yeah, it's not his style to do it backwards, so I fully expect him to get that sword. Yeah, Orange having a little bit of trouble with those Cane of Samaria strats. Those are really neat strats when they work.
Yeah, sometimes the enemies they can get in the way, especially if you don't hit the switch coming out of the crystal roller, or one of those rooms, and the pegs that you have to get past are up. We'll get to see Orange showing us this Trinex fight, which should be nice and easy with half magic and the Tempered Sword.
Nice double spin. Finishes the fight pretty quickly.
Yeah, very nice quick kill there.
And gets powder.
Yeah,
a nice luxury item, and that we'll see if he follows that powder. You also got a shovel up here. We'll see if he follows those fetch quests before heading into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it can definitely sometimes be worth it to do some quick checks before Swamp Palace, because you might get to skip the left side.
Which could still happen. We still don't know where that second bow is. Oh, I think this is going to be a Spike Cave check. That's something that I know Azure won't be doing, because he will get that. He'll have everything he needs once he's done, before he even goes into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I'll get Go Mode and Paradox when he gets the cane.
But if you're going to do Spike Cave, this is the time to do it, so...
Absolutely. It becomes such a terrible check if you don't do it literally right now. You're never going to be back up here until you're trying to beat Ganon, and you're not going to be able to beat Ganon without that bow.
Well, you can beat Ganon without the bow, you just can't get through Pod without it.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, you
can't finish the game.
And just bombs over there in Spike Cave.
See where he flutes now?
Looks like it's going to Ice Palace.
Oh, Ice Palace. Okay.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. It's with Icebreaker, it can be very quick to get all the items in Ice Palace if the Ice Tea Room does not have an item. So going in here and getting a bunch of items out of it, maybe you get the bow here and you get to Go Mode Swamp.
Yeah, and also the argument being that if you leave Swamp till later, you have a better idea of whether you need to go to the left side or not. Azure on his son, yeah, very good first 2 rounds of the blind fight. Stays on script, finishes up. Okay, now this has got to be the mountain play. There's literally nothing else.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's overworld checks that are not the mountain, but there's just so much stuff on the mountain. There's a dungeon you know that you can do. Plus, you get the intel on Turtle Rock.
Yeah, there's like 80% of the checks that lie left in the game are up on the mountain for Azure that he can get to. It looks like he's going to do Hammer Pegs with it, and I can agree with this one because it becomes such a terrible check to do this any other time.
Kind of like the Spike Cave on Orange's side.
Exactly.
And he's going to grab that bottle, because we don't have half magic yet. I guess half magic was in Hera, so he'll get that. He's only on Fighter Sword.
Yeah, where Azure's at, that bottle is definitely a very nice safety. He doesn't know that he's going to get a powder and 2 swords and half magic on the mountain, but definitely feeling good right now to get that potion.
I'm going to do a sick kid check. Again, another one that if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. Just a piece of heart. Getting him up to 12. Okay, oh, he never did... oh, he's gonna go dig game and race game. That's a shame. That was time that he really needed to get back, and yeah, now he's not gonna get that time back.
Yeah, he hasn't even done library yet.
Yeah. Just doesn't seem to want to go to the mountain.
Yeah, I think he's just hoping to get some. You're at this point trying to be able to do just one mountain climb. So if you got Fire Source and then you do Ice Palace and got Canis Maria, then you could do it one climb, I guess.
Okay, now he'll do dig game, and then it's got to be the mountain. I mean, he hasn't done like Graveyard Ledge, but I can't see him, or Catfish, but those are so out of the way.
Yeah, it would be very surprising. We'll get to see Orange drop in for his Cold Stare fight with Tempered Sword, Fire Rod, Bombos, Half Magic. Should be a pretty nice fight for about as easy as you can get in this mode.
You need to mirror first, then flute. Okay, there's the mountain play from azder.
And Orange able to handle
the 59-minute old man rescue. I love it.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe he's got the fire rod hanging out in there. And Orange is able to dispatch Cold Stare. Fairly nice fight. They got away from it at the end, but they only needed one hit each after that, so able to clean them up. Let's see where Orange decides to go.
It looks like this will be a swamp play. I mean, it doesn't make sense to go anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you want to gamble. I know they already cleared out pot. Can't gamble a bow in there.
Nah, he hasn't been to pod yet.
And SpeedGaming, we're rating us with a party of 85, so welcome to our new viewers who are joining us. This seed, it's been kind of hard to tell who's been ahead because these runners have diverged so incredibly from each other. azder is going up to the mountain. He's going to get his go mode up here. He just needs the Cane of Samari and Fire Rod, which are both up here. So he'll be in go mode.
And the swords. He needs the swords.
Oh yeah, the swords too. Yeah. So he'll be in go mode relatively soon. Orange, on the other hand, is just a bow away from go mode. We know that bow is in left side swamp, so if he elects to check left side swamp, he will also be getting his go mode soon. It has a dungeon lead on azder, but if he elects to skip left side swamp, then
I can't see skipping it at this point.
Yeah, that's true. There's just not enough locations left in the game that it's you even if you skip it the first time, you come out here. There's 2 items left there, and there's only like 10 other checks you can do in the game.
azder lucky not to do the Harapot. No, it's not his favorite strat.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, when you get the big key before the basement, it doesn't save as much time if you don't do it on first try.
If you don't do it on first try, I'm not sure it saves any time.
Yeah, I can't. I think with super speed, you might be able to have 2 or so tries. With the bomb, yeah, you can't do it first try.
There's that half magic. There's that piece of heart, so we're done with Hera items.
As you're dealing with Moldorm over on his side, see if Moldorm's going to play nice today. Able to get rid of him without very much consequence, so azder will get his 5th crystal.
Orange not doing left side swamp first. I probably will go back in with the 2 items there.
Yeah, if it had been 1 item, then you start maybe thinking about gambling bowless pod, but with the 2, it'll be tough to pass up.
The Dead Rock's not playing nice. Looks like azder was going to enter the Dark World from Turtle Rock, but it's going to instead do Spiral Cave.
Yeah, I think you just want to check that island first, so that
that makes sense
over here. Because he's probably gonna do the same thing Orange did, where he climbs up through Super Bunny Cave, and in that road he wouldn't see that.
This will be a faster Argus fight for Orange with that Tempered Sword.
Yeah, he's showing off the 0 cycle dash poke strategies, which is very nice to see that pulled off. And also gets the Fire Rod spin quick kill, so just very nice fight there by Orange. We do get confirmation that the green 20 is not a bow there.
Yeah, we know that's not a bow. I believe it was a heart piece or something like that when azder picked it up.
Oh no, it was the green 20 in the big chest that could have also been a bow.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. This race just took a turn. There's that Master Sword. Orange not going back in.
Yeah, because essentially now Orange is basically, unless there's some other bow and pod that was a green 20. I don't even remember seeing.
I wasn't paying that close attention to the items in pod, whether there were green 20s there or not, so I really don't know.
Because basically we know Orange is going to be forced to double dip pod, so he's basically giving up one of his dungeon leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Azder.
This race just got a lot closer. I mean, it was close before. You know, with the both runners really going to be getting their go mode items soon, but Orange definitely had an advantage there. Interesting. Like I would have, if you had asked me before the race which one of these two was going to skip left side swamp, I would 100% said azder. If you told me one of them was going to skip it, the other one was going to do it, I would 100% said azder was going to be the one to skip it, Orange was going to be the one to do it.
Well, this is a rematch of the earlier rounds, so perhaps these runners are familiar with each other's tendencies. Maybe
I know, right?
Azder's never going to do that, so he's safe skipping it because even if there's something good there, Azder skipped it too.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now Azder just needs to go do Hookshot Cave to get his Fire Rod, and he will be in go mode.
Looks like Orange is bailing out a pod, probably getting the logic that it's a bow lock there. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Still giving up a lot of time here by even coming here in the first place. But the fact that he's not mirroring, I mean, if you're going to bail, why aren't you just mirroring and leaving? So I'm a little confused.
Catfish and Pyramid
Catfish, Pyramid. We haven't seen Pyramid Ledge, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see the tracker well enough to know if do we have the 5/6s? I think pod is Pals and pod are them. So
yeah, okay. So Azder's in go mode, got that Fire Rod. Gonna go see that this is Quake. We'll be able to
now
open
we know
it up.
we're in go mode. The very quick 20 seconds of am I in go mode or not?
Yeah. And Orange having left side swamp, I think he's gonna do these overworld checks before he goes back in there. So this is really bad for him.
Yeah, this race is really going to be close now because it really depends just when does Orange go back there, and he's got to go back there soon. There's not that many other locations. It's just every second that he's using right now is just pure time loss. It gives Azder a chance to catch up.
Yep, he's got, he's going to do Catfish. He did Graveyard Ledge already. He's got Powder to check. He's got he doesn't have a Mushroom. Oh, and chat mentioning the Meyer check. Oof, that would be really bad. I mean, it is the bow, so there could be another one somewhere.
Yeah, I think it would be surprising to see. You would have to be really committed to the left side skip at this point because there's 2 items in left side of Swamp and there's 2 items in Meyer.
No, I think if you leave it, I think you commit to it. I really do. It's not the right. I mean, we talk about right plays and wrong plays all the time. It's kind of unfair to call something a right play or a wrong play. It's not a bad play for Orange to leave Swamp Palace and skip left side Swamp. We talked about earlier. It's not a quick check. If your opponent doesn't do it and there's nothing there, you've gained a lot of time on that. So to be clear, it's not a bad play. It's just that in this situation, it turned out the item was there, and he missed it.
Absolutely. Both these runners very skilled. They obviously have great reasons for why they make their skips, and sometimes it pays out, sometimes it doesn't. It's just how this game works sometimes. And Orange could still get bailed out by the second bow. That is the nice part about when you're looking for the bow.
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of people have complained about in hard mode is that we don't get an indication of where the second bow is. In fact, I saw Fred Coughlin a few weeks ago was playing a test mode where instead of having the second bow just be a green 20, it would be a arrow upgrade, which I thought was a really cool idea. And I kind of wish they'd implemented that for this tournament. Because like I said, that's Skull Woods, didn't even think about that. But yeah, I really think that'd be a really nice addition so that that, when you get a better idea of where you're at based on where that second bow is.
Absolutely, because like there was, for instance, a qualifier seed where there was a bow in Spike Cave that was really, or not, it wasn't the bow. It was the bow in It was on like Ethertab or something, and you had to get the book from Spike Cave. And then there was also a bow on Argus. So if you were the one that got the book and then got the bow on Bombo's tablet, you're feeling pretty good because that's an out of the way location. But if you were to go through that seed and then see that Argus has the bow, you know, oh wait, no, my friends could have gotten bailed out by that bow. I need to play like I'm behind now.
Yeah, in fact, these in the first race between these two, Orange went way out of his way to get a bow on Purple Chest. And then it turned out there was one on path in Crystal Misery Mire. So, and of course he didn't know because it showed up as a green 20. Oh, and that's the worst thing that Orange could find is a mushroom. Just another fetch quest.
We've got another group of Raiders, SpeedGaming 2, joining us with 224. So welcome to everyone joining. For a quick synopsis of this race, essentially Orange was a little bit ahead just due to some routing differences. He was about a dungeon ahead of azder, but he needed to get his bow. The bow is sitting in left side swamp. Orange elected to skip it, azder did not. So azder ended up getting his go mode before him and is now just catching up in terms of dungeons. Whereas Orange just needs to find that bow, either the one in left side or somewhere else.
Okay, Azure going to get his Temper Sword very soon. Kind of a mixed bag for Azure as far as the Temper Sword. I know he prefers, in general, I mean, everybody's going to prefer to have a Tempered Sword. But I think he's got a little more of an advantage if both runners were to be on Master Sword. Azure very proficient at the Silverless fight with the Master Sword. But he does get a Tempered Sword. He knows his opponent's going to have it too because, well, you know, that's not a laser bridge you can skip.
Yeah, so you at least know there's no way. I guess your opponent could have skipped the Zorabo, or Sword, but they definitely got those. Orange also just got a green 20 from Mothula. He's probably going to go turn in that green pendant. Or he's going to do the mushroom first. Got 2 fetch quests from.
Yeah, he's got fetch quests on fetch quests on fetch quests. The funny thing is, I mean, if you look at this, I forget where the big key was in Pod. I feel like the Ice Palace is going to be a little bit faster for Azure than Pod if Orange gets his bow right now. But if he gets his bow in a bad spot, he's going to go back to Pod?
Yeah, big key was the first chest of Pod, so he's.
Oh no! You said green pendant. That makes sense. Forgot about that. Okay, turning in the green pendant. He's not going back to Pod. That would be a terrible play.
Yeah, you'd have to be sequence breaking, hoping for a bow in the bow.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are times when that's a decent play, but when the only thing you're looking for is the bow, you don't do that. If you're looking for a bunch of stuff, then I think it's a perfectly okay play, and this is the Mire play.
Yeah, that's not looking good if you're rooting for Orange, unless there could still be a bow in here, and he could.
But all his advantage is gone. Azure just has to do Ice Palace. Ice Palace is super quick with Icebreaker now. The Icebreaker, you know, the Canis and Maria strats that we learned last year, we talked about how they affect Swamp, but the way they've affected Ice Palace, I think is really interesting because one, players are much more apt to put Ice Palace off and hope they can get that Canis Samaria before they go in there. And two, I know right away, and you see this. I see this in ladder races. I know I've won ladder races because my opponent didn't know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump. PSA: if you don't know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, you still need to know it because your Canis Samaria might be an Ice Palace, and no one wants to do the intended strats in there. So the Canis Samaria just really has changed the way we look at Ice Palace, but also means that it's a dungeon that you maybe are more quick to go back to. Like if it's a pendant dungeon, you're now weighing which pendant dungeon to dip. I think you're more likely to do an Ice Palace because it's so much quicker now with that Icebreaker.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely a great point about still needing the Ice Palace bomb jump. There's still a good 20-30% of the time where your ideal route you go do Ice Palace even without the time save from Canis Samaria, just because it just makes too much sense, or you can't find the cane. But definitely to your point about changing the way we think about Ice Palace, I agree 100%, because before Ice Palace to full clear was just so bad. So you'd love to go mode it. You would never see the 3 items in Ice Palace as like attempting 3 items to go get. But with Icebreaker, it just saves so much time on the full clear. It doesn't save as much time on go mode as you'd think, but on the full clear, it saves a ton.
Yeah, on the go mode, it saves like 15 seconds. I mean, and you notice that Azure did hit the switch. He has to hit the switch. He has to grab this small key. So those are things that you do still have to do. So yeah, it's not the huge time save people think about in go mode, but it's still it just makes such a big difference in that not go mode situation. And yeah, Azure making very, very quick work. And while Orange is hoping beyond hope that Misery Mire is the bow, and it is the only bow that is available. And it could be a bow, but it will not be the only one.
Yeah, by this time, Azder's pretty clearly taken the lead, even if Orange were to get his bow right here.
Yeah, exactly. And Azure about to go into the cold stare fight. I don't know where that Bombos was. Azure didn't get it. I'm assuming it was somewhere in a part of Turtle Rock that he was able to go mode by.
I believe Turtle Rock Big Chest.
Ah, that makes sense.
Very nice fight there by Azder, getting the cold stare popped in the corner and hitting them with the slashes.
And gets a red shield. Meanwhile, still haven't seen anything out of Misery Mire. Orange gonna do one of those, the nice little door. Oh, okay, he just gave up on that. There's a nice little clip you can do there. It's a door extension strat that allow you to clip through that rail.
Yeah, definitely cool when you can see it pulled off. Also, if you're in chat and wondering why people are posting numbers all of a sudden, with Azure collecting his 7th crystal, we play a game here where you guess a number between 1 and 22. There are 22 locations in Ganon's tower where the big key can be. So you post your guess in chat, and whoever guesses right wins an unlimited supply of internet points. Unfortunately, the bot that awards those internet points is not in commission, so you'll have to send in a mail-in request to receive your point.
Let's see. It looks like no one's put a prediction in. A lot of times they'll do this. One of the SpeedGaming mods will put a even or odd, or a 1 through 11 versus 12 through 22, but not seeing that today. But yeah, a little sad the bot's down, but it's still fun to guess. And yeah, somebody in chat asking that if Orange finds the bow, would be one in a Swamp Palace turn to a green 20? Yes, it would. Obviously, we're not going to see that, because if he finds a bow here in Misery Mire, he's never going back to Swamp Palace.
The one thing about the bow is, though, if you have a bow and the second bow is somewhere in the overworld or dropped by a boss, it will still look like the silver arrows, but then when you click it up, it will immediately turn into a green 20.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amusing when you see that. We saw that at a couple qualifiers. I think there was one where Zora had the second bow, and or maybe it was for some people the first bow, but yeah, we have seen that. In fact, even in Dante's reveal race, there was a bow sitting there on the desert ledge.
Yeah,
by the time he got there, it was going to be a green 20, so he didn't pick it up.
All right, so we'll see. Get our look at chest number 1 is just $300. 3 bombs in chest number 2. Orange, if it wasn't bad enough to do Mire, has to do it with no bow on this big eye. Chest number 3 is just the map.
Yeah, he's not even going to pick up the Pendant, saving, quitting out of Misery Mire before he gets spending. He knows the bow. I mean, okay, the bow there could be a bow on Ped. But it wouldn't be the one he needs, because he can't get to it, because he'd have to have the other bow for Eastern Palace. So 4 is a small key, 5 is a small key, 6 is a 20. That could be the bow. Could be a third. Could be that last sword. Could be an Azure's going to go back to the right. I think he picked up 2 small keys. Yeah. Wait. Okay, he's.
Never seen this strategy.
Indecisive or not? We're not indecisive or anything. He does that sometimes. He was thinking about going to the right side, I think, and then changed his mind. So.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the Smith's chain Orange had done. I knew he hadn't done hammer pegs, so that's.
Yeah, no, he did all of it except hammer pegs. Yeah. Fortunately, the Thieves Town Big Chest we know is just map or compass, whichever one they didn't find. So he won't get sucked back into there. I think at this point, I don't know if Eastern has another item.
It does
If
not.
he might. Okay, so hopefully he knows that and does not get sucked back into there. At this point, he's got to be down to just the left side swamp, and that just feels bad. I've been there. Like, I've totally done exactly that. Oh, he doesn't know that the big chest doesn't have anything. Oh, Orange, no.
Yeah, this is just
Oh.
painful. We're also up to chest. This will be chest number 9. Is small key.
I'm glad you're counting.
I have to go back and count based off which chest
I do
but
that
can
too
get there.
sometimes. Yeah. Okay, we'll get 10, 11, 12, and 13 over here in Rando Room.
Oh, 10 and 11, no go. Not 12.
Okay, we keep going. Now, let's see if the Armos have it. It's kind of annoying when you have to go. Like, I feel like it's worse. I mean, it's not really worse than normal because, you know, we might still be on Tempered Sword Silverless if this were a regular seed. But I know I get a little bit of anxiety when I'm in this situation and I have to kill the Armos Knights, and, you know, I still want those arrows for mimics. And in fact, those arrows in that chest right there make it even worse. It's like, okay, you're gonna give me arrows before Armos when I don't need them because I already have 30.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to accidentally use too many arrows here and then not have at least 4 for the first 2 mimics.
Okay, Azure didn't quite get the quick kill there. I do still have 9 arrows left, so it should be fine.
Yeah, 9 should be enough. Orange looks like he's about to go and get his bad news about left side swamp.
Okay, and Azure, when he thought he should go to the right side, looks like he should have gone to the right side because we're still looking for the big key.
And we just saw up to chest number 17 have nothing.
Yeah, Orange, now has come to the sad conclusion that this is where his bow is. And he's going to go back in.
Yeah, you have to still play it out at this point. I hope your opponent did the same things you did. Until you see that dot done, you just got to keep going.
No, you never should forfeit until you see the dot done. Because, like you say, you never know when. I've literally seen races come down to who gets back to a skipped cutscene chest in Mire first. So, where they both skipped it and both had to get back to it. So, you know, these things do happen.
19 and 20 or nothing? Oh, no, sorry. That's 18 and 19. 20, there is our winning number.
I was about to say it might be Tile Room, but nope. There's that big key. But I definitely appreciate Orange sticking to his convictions, abandoning left side swamp and just sticking with that. That's a tough thing. That's a very tough thing.
Yeah, because even if he had gone back, he had to go back pretty early. Like, if he had to have gone back there after, like, Catfish to still have had the lead at that point.
Yeah, I think that's about right. About in that area, if he had done it then, at least it would have been, you know, who routed big key better type situation, that kind of thing. But in this case, nope, didn't quite work out.
And we'll get to see Azure do his gauntlet climb. He got plenty of safeties. He has that red potion as well. So with Tempered Sword, this should be a pretty nice gauntlet.
Yep, and he's got powder for the anti-fairies or the bunny beams. And I have to agree with the statement in chat that Orange had a bout until Azure finished up TR. You need to find that bow before that happened, and it just didn't happen. As you're making fairly quick work of the gauntlet.
Yeah, it's just so nice having boots and Tempered Sword for this gauntlet.
Yep.
Gets a very nice quick kill there on the
there it is.
Yeah, Orange is in go mode at 1 hour and 24 minutes. Probably not feeling too good about that one, though.
Wow, I'm hearing from chat that no one gets 20 on the big key game. Shout outs to the person that went back and looked, because that's an effort to scroll all the way back through all those numbers.
I'm sure a lot of people guessed 22 though, so you probably had to guess 21 or 19.
Well, there's people that want that tile room. I also see some chatter about spoiler logs. Yeah, they don't. When they create a race seed, the race seeds do not create spoiler logs. So can't really look at that later.
Azder being basically fully decked out for this seed, is not going to bother checking any of these.
No,
I don't think he can even get anything.
In hard mode, there's nothing left to pick up. There's no silvers to get. There's no gold sword to make things a little bit faster. He does have that powder for the powdering the anti-fairy. Has a tempered sword. No mail upgrades. Like literally, the only thing that could possibly be of any use is if you get like a bottle of blue potion. But he doesn't really need that either because he's got half magic, and he's got the red bottle.
Potion, yeah.
I think the other one's empty. I think they got an empty bottle very early in the seed. I think he still has that.
Yeah, it was either empty or had a B in it, and then orange.
Which basically is the same thing.
Yeah. There's a few shots where maybe for minimal or gave early, B, but not many.
Actually, my favorite creative use I've ever come up with for the B is I actually used it once in the old man cave to rescue him. And because it let me see where I was, I literally had no other weapons to see by. So, those of you that maybe never thought of that is a use for the B. Okay,
Azder.
Yeah, I got 2. Looks like
gotten 5 hits so far.
There we go. Nicely finished.
So we'll get to see Azder go into his Ganon fight. Should be a pretty nice fight, being fully decked out for this hard mode.
Yep, this is as decked out as you can get, other than more potions. So yeah, this should be a pretty easy fight for him. Relatively speaking, I mean, to me, there's no such thing as an easy or quick fight in the Ganon fight, but when you have to do silverless. But I mean, it's not super hard either. This isn't Master Sword silverless or anything like that. And as I often like to say, you don't make this tournament if you can't do these things.
Missing the trident spin a bit there, getting the poke on Ganon.
Takes a trident to the face while he's at it.
Gonna get a nice pattern here to get the 1 cycle phase 2 though, which is the more important of the 2 1 cycles.
And gets through the hardest part of the fight. Their phase 2, I don't care what the situation is, the scariest part. And of course, it's worse with just Master Sword, but even with Tempered Sword, it's the scariest part of the fight with those fire bats going everywhere.
Ganon being a bit warp happy. As you're able to get that nice free hit at the start of phase 4, I'm going to go for Lamp Torch Glitch.
Yeah, that's the safer version. He's got half magic, so he's got plenty of magic to do this fight.
Yeah, and he got the free hit, so he can even afford to miss a triple the first time and still finish him in the same number of cycles.
Meanwhile, Orange, finishing up his Helmosaur fight, will head to the GT.
Azder doing a really nice job on Ganon so far, already up to 9 hits, so we almost missed them, as you say that he misses the first triple.
It happens.
Just 1 more hit, and then Ganon will be down.
There it is.
So all Azder needs to do is cross this bridge and he will be the winner of this race. So get your GGs in chat for Azder.
Yeah, Azder will cross the bridge with an official race time of 1:29:08. GGs to Azder. And he takes a 1-0 lead in this do or die winner take all series.
Yeah, we'll see if either of these runners want to come in for an interview.
Yeah, and Orange, seeing the dot done, does decide to forfeit. Can't say that I blame him. He knew he was behind when he found that bow. Ran a really good race, made a lot of really good decisions early. Unfortunately, the one that got him was the one at the end. And as I said, if someone told me one of these guys was going to skip left side swamp, I would have put money on Azder would be the one to skip it, especially given when he got there. Compared to when Orange got there, it was just at the time it just made a lot more sense. Azure has so many other things to do, and Orange had very little left. But I was wrong, and it worked out the other way. So GG's to Azure and GG's to Orange for putting on a good race, and they'll play it again same time tomorrow.
Yeah, and there's just as many games where you make the same exact decisions as these runners did, and it just turns out the exact opposite way.
Yep. Now, left side swamp is I say it all the time. It is faster now that we have the diver downstrap, but it is still not fast. So it's a common skip if you want to cut a few corners. Orange also unfortunate for Orange that there wasn't a second bow elsewhere, and he is joining us. It was a tough one. Take us through the decision to skip left side swamp the first time you were there.
Go -1, 2 bows in play.
That's fair. Yep.
But if I'm go -1 and my go mode is a medallion or ice rod, I will do LSS anyway.
Sure, because yeah, those are such bad items to have as go -1.
It was really my aggression that cost me the match, really. Because I got those early boots, and even though I last located the mitts, you can generally survive last locating your Dark World access. But then it led to the mirror, and then I got an early hook shot. I was like, okay, I'm going to be ahead of him for most of this match. And then the bow hunt began.
Yeah, you had a pretty decent lead. It wasn't quite clear how big a lead it was when you went into Swamp Palace. It kind of came down to Azure. He did all the mountain stuff late. He did Swamp Palace a lot earlier than you did. Did go back in for the bow and cleared pod, and then did the mountain last, except Ice Palace, because of course all the stuff you need for Ice Palace was up there. But yeah, it was you did have a decent lead, but he was whittling away at it, so it's really hard to say what would have happened. But I think it was to your advantage. But yeah, I totally get the left side swamp skip. I skip it all the time, and sometimes it pays off because you save that time, and sometimes it bites you. It's just the nature of the beast.
Although Swamp Palace was available to me, I really wanted to go up the mountain because there was a possibility that I could at least go mode swamp. Because I figured Aster was not going to fake flipper hobo for the boots.
You'd be correct in that.
So I figured, okay, he might actually go to swamp after land molas, get the flippers, get his boots, then mirror, then if I think, okay, swamp. So I thought, okay, I'll go mountain instead. Maybe I can hit go mode up there. Because I was finally back in logic after those flippers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always weird when you're doing everything out of logic, and like if swamp had been a pendant, then it's big, who cares? But it was a crystal, so you did need to find those flippers eventually.
It was just, well, I made a very aggressive play to skip left side swamp, and that's what cost me the race. That's all it was.
Yep. Yeah, it happens. Like I said, I mean, it saves time, but it also costs. It's the nature of that location. It happens.
Do you guys have your second mate race scheduled?
Tomorrow at the same time.
Yep, same bat time, maybe same bat channel. I don't know.
All of our races, if it comes to a game 3, are going to be at 10 p.m.
I do believe that that one is also getting a restream. I don't know if I think they've even assigned a channel. I will check real quick. Anything you might do differently tomorrow?
Play a bit more cautiously.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Well, everyone, definitely give these runners a follow. They gave us a really nice, exciting race today. So thank you for putting on the show today, Orange. Also, thank you to our tracker, Sorcerer Finch, did a great job on the buttons, showing us what we've got and keeping us honest, and chat as well. And a big shout outs to my co-commentator, Tracy M, did a great job commentating the seed, made it a lot of fun and made it engaging for you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Dane, and good. Thank you to you also for joining me on this one. It was a lot of fun. We have. Oh, go ahead, Orange.
Can't wait to watch this back and see GFE yell at me some more.
Okay.
Shout outs to GFE.
Okay. We do have one more race on the schedule tonight. At 12:25 in the AM, we have Jay Coper versus Hula Ninja. I don't know what that series is at, but I do know that is another one of these, another do or die. I guess for the most part, that's what we have now is those do or die loser bracket matches. But definitely tune into SpeedGaming at 12:25 AM for that one. And also a whole bunch of races tomorrow. Maybe even more get added to the schedule. I don't know. But the first one on the schedule right now is at 1:10 p.m. That'll be Fear Agent versus Technolink on SpeedGaming 2, and then races throughout the day, all day. So yeah, this is the time of year. If you're a Link to the Past Randomizer fan, this is your time of year because this race is happening all the time.
Absolutely. It's so great when in these early rounds, when there's so many races going on and there's basically a race whenever you can tune in. It's very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I guess that'll pretty much do it for us. Orange, you have anything else to add before we close this out? I'm thinking not.
Oh, wait, sorry. I'm sorry, my mic was muted.
That's okay.
I just want to give a thank you to SpeedGaming for putting this on.
All right,
yeah, definitely give a follow to SpeedGaming 1 through 6 to make sure you can catch all of these matches and other speed games that you might be interested in.
Absolutely. Yeah, well said. All right, that's pretty much going to do it for us. We will see you hopefully at 12:25. Those of you that are like to stay up late, we'll see you on SpeedGaming for Jay Copa versus Hula Ninja.